friends, it's Mads and Socks. Thank you for joining us. In this video, we will be reviewing the animal friends of Pica Pau. My hands are full of dog slobber, so I will be right back. Now, if you're thinking, what the hell is a Pica Pau? Well, I've got you covered. The Animal Friends of Pica Pau is a series of books by the creator Jan Schenkel. There are 3 books in this series. In this video, we'll be reviewing the first one, but I do have the other 2 books as well, and we'll be releasing reviews of them once I've made all the characters in them, so definitely stay tuned for that. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. But yeah, it is a series of Amigurumi crochet books with some really cute characters. These are just 4 of them. I have made all of them from the first book, which I will show you very shortly. But Jan Schenkel also does have another book, which I believe is called The World of Pica Pau. From memory, it is the very first book. I'm not sure if she's released that in English or not, but the Animal Friends of Pica Pau definitely is in English. So if you're interested, links to all 3 books will be in the description box down below. You may also be asking yourself why Socks and I were wearing frog hats. That's a very valid question. But basically, we fell in love with this adorable little amigurumi from this book. And since we were reviewing it, I thought, why not get in character for it, hey? I made it from a bag of Milland, and it was my first ever episode of Milland Makes, which I released last week. If you haven't checked that out yet, definitely go do so. I'll link it up here and in the description box down below. If that's not your thing, no stress, I will get to the book review right now. Now, just some general thoughts about this book. This book is definitely beginner friendly. You just may need to know the basics of crochet, like single crochets, increase, decreases, things like that. If you don't know, the first part of the book does cover stitches, hooks, everything like that, so you can definitely learn from scratch from this as well, but it will definitely help you if you already have basic knowledge of crochet. The book also has such a big variety of animals, some I've never heard of before, like this guy, which is a caiman. Are you asking yourself what a caiman is? Because I definitely was. It is in the alligator family or crocodile family or something like that, but I had never heard of it, so you will be questioning your knowledge of animals too when you crochet this book. Another great thing about this book is that majority of the characters, the head and body is basically worked in one piece, which means minimal sewing. Isn't that great? Generally speaking, there are between 5 to 10 pieces for you to sew together in this pattern book. The most is 29 pieces, but that is just one pattern, and then I think the next lowest from that is 17 from memory, but majority of the patterns are between 5 to 10 pieces, which isn't that big of a deal. Definitely way better than the last book that I reviewed, which was Dinosaurs, Mammoths and More. There was so much sewing in that one, but if you're interested in that review, check it out up here and in the description box down below. I made every single one of those too, so you can have a look at all of them. Another great thing about this book is that all of the characters are generally the same size. There is just one that is a tiny bit smaller, which is the little Jack Russell. Everything else is pretty much the same size, and all of them use under 100 grams of yarn. I did use acrylic yarn, so if you're using a heavier yarn like cotton, it might be a little bit more, but generally speaking, all of them are roughly the same usage of yarn. Now, one thing to note is this book rates its patterns in terms of stars from 1 to 3. There are only 2 1-star patterns in this book, but personally, in my opinion, I don't think they are 1-star patterns. I think they should be tagged as 2-star. Not to say they're hard or anything like that. There is just a little bit more complexity in them. I will go into that later in the review, but just keep that in mind. The book also does not order the patterns in terms of star ratings. Generally speaking, majority of the 2-star patterns are in the first part of the book, and then the 3-star patterns are in the second half of the book. But there are 2 and 3-star patterns mixed amongst each other, and then the couple of 1-star patterns are also mixed amongst each other. So just keep that in mind, that if you're crocheting in order, it's not necessarily in terms of difficulty. I will be doing this review though in terms of how she's rated her patterns. So I will be doing the 1-star patterns first, the 2-star patterns next. There are a couple 2/3-star patterns that I'll be doing after that, and then finally the 3-star patterns. So let's get to it. So the first 1-star pattern is Hugo Bat. There are 17 pieces to sew together, 11 of which are on the actual body. So the ear has this little flat piece that you sew onto the outer ear. So that's 1, and then the outer ear to the head is 2, 3, 4, the little snout number 5, this shorter part of the wing to the larger part 6, the large part to the body 7, this flat piece that you sew onto that is 8, 9, 10 and 11. And then the pattern calls for 6 pom-poms to be sewn on to the little scarf. So if you do all 6, that will be 17 pieces to sew together. I've only done 4 pom-poms, so I've sewn together 15 pieces. Not sure if you can see, he's got little fangs there as well. It's a very cute pattern. I wouldn't necessarily say it is a 1-star pattern in my opinion, and this is just opinion only. It is a 2-star pattern because it's got this scarf which is done in moss stitch. She doesn't tell you it is moss stitch, but I'm fairly sure it is. It's just single crochets, chain, single crochets, and then you work the remaining rows single crochets into the chain from the previous row. Let me know if that is in moss stitch though. I'm fairly sure that it is. And in my opinion, a 1-star pattern would be like very basic stitches. So any kind of complexity, I would definitely give it a 2-star. And because of this moss stitch scarf, I would definitely give this one a 2-star pattern. But the actual bat itself is quite easy to make, so maybe that's what she's gone off of, and she's marked it as 1-star. The scarf is removable, so you can make multiple in multiple colors if you did choose to do so. And the other thing is just you'll just need to know how to work both in the round like traditional amigurumi and flat pieces. If you started just doing amigurumi, you might not know how to do that. I started crocheting by crocheting amigurumi, and this pattern was actually the first time I crocheted flat pieces, but it's fairly simple to do. I mean, it's just single crochets, so fairly safe and easy, but it's a very cute pattern and looks adorable in his little scarf. The last 1-star pattern is Renee Yaka Cayman. There are 10 pieces to sew together on him. So the head is worked separately to the body. So you've got to sew the head to the body. That's 1. The 2 eyes, so 2 and 3. The cheeks, 4 and 5. The party hat, 6. His arms, 7, 8. The bow tie, 9. And his tail, number 10. Now, in my opinion, this would be a 2-star pattern because it does have bobble stitches on here and quite a bit of color changes. I'm not really sure if you can see it. I didn't pick good colors for his shirt and his party hat because the yellow and the white sort of blend in together. But you will need to know how to do color changes as well as bobble stitches. Apart from that, he is very simple. I did make a mistake on his hat. She does recommend doing 2 rows of one color or 2 rounds of one color and then changing and doing 2 rounds of the next color. I just alternated the colors per round, so you can't really tell very well because of the colors I chose, but that's just a little bit different to the pattern. In the book, the pictures also have little swimming rings, but that's not actually included in this particular pattern. She does have a pattern for that in the pig, so you can just flip back to that if you did want to make it, but I think he looks perfectly fine just as he is, and he's very cute, quite easy to work up, and looks adorable. This is Audrey Gazelle. She is the first 2-star pattern, and there are 10 pieces to sew together. I'm not really sure if you can tell, but she's got little anthers, so that's 2. Then you've got the inside bit to the outside and that to the ear, so 3, and then 4, 5, 6, the snout 7, the 2 arms 8, 9, and then she's got a little tail as well, number 10. The skirt is removable, so you could make multiple if you wanted to. She's quite simple to make. You just need to do basic color changes, like from the yellow to her shirt color, and then again back to her normal skin color, and then just with the eyes as well, you've just got to make sure you've got to change color. But apart from that, it's fairly simple to make, nothing too complicated with this one, just bobble stitches, color changes, pretty simple and quite easy. This guy is George McPlatypus. He is another 2-star pattern, and then there are 8 pieces to sew together. The beak is actually in 2 bits, so it's 1, 2, the 2 arms 3, 4, his little bow tie, which is number 5, his 2 flippers 6, 7, and the tail, which is number 8. Now I sewed the beak on too low, so he's got a big forehead and not much of a belly, but it is supposed to be the other way around, so you're supposed to sew this one just a tad bit higher, so he has a little bit more of a belly. That's my fault there. The only, I guess, bit of advice I would give you with this one is before you sew on the flippers to the leg, which I'm not sure if you can see, I would recommend putting the pants on and then sewing on the flippers. The pattern actually has the pants pattern after the flippers, and in the flipper section she tells you sew it onto the leg. So technically, if you follow the pattern exactly, you would need to put the pants on after the flippers, but I would probably struggle with it in my experience anyways, to get the flippers through the holes of the pants. So definitely if you can, definitely if you can, put the pants on and then sew these onto his little feet. That would be a little bit easier. If you're able to get it off his slippers with no issues and off the tail, then you could obviously make multiple pants because it is removable as well. Technically, you can take it out. But yeah, he's quite cute. Apart from my little mistakes, he's quite adorable. He's got little fingers there, if you can see. It's very cute. The next 2-star pattern is Hans the Grizzly Bear. There are 6 pieces to sew together. So the snout to his face is 1, the 2 ears 3, 4, 2 arms 5, 6, and his little tail number 7. He does have a removable hat, scarf, and his little jacket. Now with the jacket, she did tell you to use a 4mm hook, and for the rest of the Amigurumi, basically she uses a 2.75mm hook with DK weight yarn. I just use a 3mm hook for all of mine with DK weight yarn, and I didn't change the hook size for his little vest or jacket, so it has come out a little bit short. Definitely I would recommend, if you wanted it a little bit longer like she does suggest in the pattern, use a larger hook size just so it looks a bit more oversized. But I still think it looks fine just like this. It's just obviously that you can see the bottom of his shirt and things like that. The scarf pattern is actually from the wolf pattern. So in the book she will tell you, like in this particular pattern, to go to, you know, whatever page number to get the scarf pattern. So that's the only I guess downside of this one, that you just have to flip through a few pages. Not very inconvenient, but just, you know, it would have been nice, I guess, to have everything in the one section. The scarf is also a little bit long in my opinion. You do sort of have to like bend it to kind of stack it. So I did a few rounds short because I had to bend it anyways. I just didn't see the point of crocheting extra rounds or rows if, you know, you're just going to fold it like that. But yeah, the beanie's removable as well. I like that there's little holes on there for the ears, so it sort of helps it stay in place, but you can remove it if you did want to. And he just turns into a regular bear, if you can see. It's very cute, very adorable pattern. This is one of my favorites from the book just because he looks so cute with all of his clothes. And I can't find the ear holes now. But yeah, very cute, adorable little pattern. The next 2-star pattern is Harry Wolf. There are 8 pieces to sew together. So the 2 ears, the snout number 3, hands 4 and 5, the tail number 6, and the cheeks 7 and 8. Sorry, I lost track there. He is very cute. He does have removable little mittens, so you just have his hands if you know, didn't want to put the mittens on there. And then the scarf pattern is similar to the previous scarf pattern. Again, with this one, I just did do a few rounds short, just so, you know, I didn't waste extra yarn, I guess, because it is supposed to be folded, I think, because it's quite big, and I just didn't want to do the extra rows if I didn't have to. He's quite cute. One thing with this one, you've just got to be a little bit careful when you're stitching the snout onto his face to kind of match up the grey and the white on each side. That's the only sort of tricky part when you've got to sew it together, because you want to make sure the color lines up. Apart from that, it's quite easy. I like that, you know, you can take out his mittens and his scarf, so you could potentially make multiple variations of, you know, his scarf and mittens set. The scarf, I think you would definitely need to take it off from the bottom. It is removable, but you know, you probably just need to pull it down his body rather than over his head, because I don't think it will go past the snoot. So yeah, just keep that in mind as well. But very adorable and very cute. This is Marco's Coati, another 2-star pattern. There are 6 pieces to sew together. So snout is number 1, the ears 2 and 3, arms 4, 5, and his tail number 6. The shorts are removable if you wanted to. I don't know how you would go removing it off the tail. I haven't tried that, but I stitched the tail on after I put on his shorts, just so I'm, you know, I got the positioning right, and you know, didn't have any troubles getting the shorts on. There is only one picture for this in the pattern, but I think that's all you need, because she angles it really well that you can see everything similar to this. So you can sort of see the shirt, you know, his face, the tail. I did make a mistake on this pattern. I did similar to what I did with the wolf and try to line up the colors, but that's not actually what you're supposed to do. The face has a bit of white running through there, just where I kind of stitched the nose on the white, and you're actually meant to put the nose you know, 1 row below the white. So it's supposed to be like the eyebrows, and then you have 1 row of white and then the nose down there, if that makes sense. I didn't read that part or look at the picture too carefully, and I sort of just stitched it on similar to the wolf pattern, which was wrong. But I don't think he looks too bad even with that mistake. He does sort of look like a raccoon. I think the Codys, or however you say it, is part of the raccoon family. I hadn't heard of it before this book, so yeah, definitely very cute, very red as well. Yeah, just looks like a red raccoon to me. The next 2-star pattern is Murray Sea Otter. There are 6 pieces to sew together: his snout, the 2 ears, the 2 arms, and his tail. He's got a removable jacket as well, so it's really cute. The picture in the pattern does have swimming rings, which is not actually included in this particular pattern, but it is included in the pig pattern. You can always go back and add it, like make it if you wanted to add it to this one, but just keep that in mind that the picture doesn't represent what the entire pattern for this one is. So yeah, he's fairly cute and adorable. You'll just need to know how to do color changes, obviously, but yeah, fairly simple to do, fairly easy. The next 2-star pattern is Pedro Vondito Pig. There are 6 pieces to sew on him. So we've got the 2 ears, the snout number 3, arms 4 and 5, and his little wiggly tail. He doesn't have any clothes apart from this little swimming trunks that's sewn onto him, but these little floaties or swimming rings are removable. It's just a little bit difficult to get it off his hands. I don't think I overstuffed his arms too much. They're quite like soft, but it is still a bit of a struggle to get it on and off his hands, especially with this bobble stitch here. I didn't stuff my swimming rings. I just stitched them together. I don't think it looked too bad. I think if you stuffed it, it may be a little bit more challenging to get it on and off the arm. So just something to keep in mind. And my only other thought on this one is potentially the snout is a bit too low. I pretty much copied exactly what the pattern said, like the rounds to stitch it on, and her picture looks pretty much the same, but to me it looks like he might have a little bit too big of a forehead and not enough of a chin. Maybe that's how it's meant to look, but if I were redoing this pattern, I'd maybe just shift it up just, you know, 1 or 2 rows, just so he has a little bit more of a chin, and it's not just going from his snout to his body. But yeah, fairly cute pattern, very easy to make, you know, very simple. I love his little wriggly tail as well. It's really cute. This is Rona Cheetah, another 2-star pattern. There are 6 pieces to sew together, so the snout, the ears, the arms, and his her tail. There are quite a few color changes obviously for the tail, but apart from that it's quite simple to do. The dress is removable as well, so you could make multiple if you chose to. I'm not sure if you can see it really well on camera, but there are little stripes on her forehead and cheeks, and she's also put them under the dress on her like thighs as well. So, you know, it's just the little hidden details is just so adorable in this one, and the little dress and everything is just so cute. Again, you will need to know to do bobble stitches for her arms, but yeah, fairly simple pattern, very easy and adorable. This adorable guy is Victor the Frog. He's another 2-star pattern. There are 6 pieces to sew together. His little eyes, so 1, 2, the 2 arms, 3, 4, and flippers 5 and 6. Similar to the other pattern with the shorts and the flippers, I would definitely recommend putting the shorts on first before you sew on the flippers. The pattern does list the shorts at the end after the flippers, and the flippers section does so you sew it onto the leg. So definitely keep that in mind. I think it's way easier to get it on without the flippers. It is a little bit tight on him. I think I may have overstuffed him, but you know, you can technically remove it if you're able to get it off the flippers. I haven't tried. He's also got underwear like you got a sneak peek before, so I really love the details that you can, you know, see or not see on here. She like puts in a lot of thought into her patterns. It's really cute. And the little fingers as well are just so adorable. I'm not sure if you can see it too well, but yeah, he's very cute. I love his little smile. It's so cute. This is Lola Panda. She is marked as a 2/3-star pattern, and there are 6 pieces to sew together. You've got her little ears, if you can see it. So 2 for the ears, the snout number 3, her 2 arms 4 and 5, and then she's got a little tail number 6. The skirt is removable. I would say it's a 2-star pattern. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a 3-star pattern. There is quite a bit of color change obviously for the face and also for the skirt, but nothing too complex, no bobble stitches or anything like that. Quite simple shape, if that makes sense. Like you just do, you know, increases, single crochet, maybe a little bit more increases, some color changes, but it's a fairly simple shape, and then you just split off to create the legs. Quite a simple, easy pattern in my opinion. The only thing that looks a bit messy on mine is the color changes. I find this a lot with white, that it kind of shows the other colors around it. So she sort of looks like she's got a black eye, but not in a panda way, if that makes sense. If anyone knows how to do, you know, cleaner color changes, definitely let me know. I just, you know, do the normal, you know, before you finish the last stitch, you know, change color and then continue. But I still feel like you can see a little bit of the black around it. It looks a bit messy, but from afar, I guess you can't really tell. But yeah, quite cute and adorable. This guy is Ramon Donkey. He is marked as a 2/3 star pattern, and there are 6 pieces to sew together. So the ears actually change color, so there's not actually an inside piece and an outside piece, which is great. So it's just 2 for the ears, 1 for the snouts, that's 3, the 2 arms, 4, 5, and then he's got a little tail as well, which is number 6. The poncho is done in tapestry crochet, so it does add a little bit of complexity. So in my opinion, I would say that this is a 3-star pattern, because you've also got the hair to do, and hair is quite tedious and annoying. Now I only did a little bit of hair, like just basically around the magic circle. She recommends going up to round 5 and adding more hair. I didn't really, you know, want to do that much. I think he looks cute with just a little, so I just left it at just, you know, a few strands of hair. You can definitely do more if you want to, but he's quite adorable. Poncho is removable, so you can make multiple if you wanted to. And then yeah, just stripes for his shirt. I didn't do tapestry crochet. I just, you know, showed my ends because, you know, you can't really see it when it's on him, so I didn't go through the extra effort, but you definitely can. And yeah, he's got little tassels at the end as well, quite adorable and cute. Now onto the 3-star patterns. This one is Bonnie Puffin, and there are 9 pieces to sew together. So 1 for the snout, then 2 and 3 for the cheeks, wings 4, 5, the legs 6, 7, and then the flippers 8 and 9. So 9 pieces to sew together. There's quite a bit of color change, as you can see. You've sort of got to do like a nice intricate pattern around her neck. The beanie is removable, so you can make multiple if you wanted to. The one thing with this pattern that, you know, if you follow pictures as guides, it might be a little bit misleading, is the pictures in this one I think is one of her prior prototypes. So I'm not sure if you can see very well, but there is a little bit of gray between the white from her face and then this neck pattern. In her pictures, she does have one made up like this, but then there's more lines of gray. I think it's like 2 or 3, so it's a bigger, you know, gray bit before it starts in the pattern. And then she's got like a half made one where there's just the one line like this one. But the main picture that your eyes are drawn to obviously has more gray. So if you're following the pattern exactly, and then you look at the picture for a guide, you may think you're doing it incorrectly, but you're not. It's just, you know, a different picture, probably a previous version that she didn't decide or didn't end up going with. So just something to keep in mind, that the pattern's not wrong. It's just, you know, she uses other like models in her picture as well, but it's quite cute, quite interesting body shape as well. One thing that could be tricky with this is because crochet naturally twists when you get down here, and before you chain out to make the tail, you just got to make sure that you're kind of centered with the head, otherwise it might end up a little bit crooked. But yeah, just, you know, she tells you to do that anyways, which is quite good. So, you know, you can align the tail with the body. But she's quite cute and adorable, and this one is actually the reason I bought the book. I thought it was such a cute, adorable little pattern, and she definitely is. The next 3-star pattern is Charles Woodpecker. There are 9 pieces to sew together, 2 wings, the beak number 3, the 3 feathers up here, so that's 6, this little tail, which is number 7, and the feet 8 and 9. Now this pattern only has 2 pictures, and they're basically from the side, so it's sort of like that where you can't actually see the tail. That's my only, I guess, criticism with this pattern, is that you can't actually see how the tail is sewn on. I did stuff it. I'm fairly sure the pattern said not to stuff it, but you know, you just couldn't see at all what the tail was supposed to look like. There were just 2 pictures. One was without the wings, so like half done, and without the tail and the feathers obviously, so just the body from the side, and then the other, you know, picture was from the side as well, but the way that it was angled, you couldn't actually see the tail or the crest feathers too well, but you could sort of make it out. So that's my only criticism. I sort of just winged the tail. I'm assuming this is what it's supposed to look like. But yeah, this is what it looks like from the front, if you guys were wondering, because there isn't actually like a front view in the actual book. But yeah, quite cute. this is Daniel Jack Russell, another 3-star pattern. There are 7 pieces to sew together. So little tail, the 2 spots, so that's 3, the ears 4 and 5, and the head and the bodies actually work separately, so that's 6. And then you just got to stitch this little bow tie around his neck, so that's number 7. I think this name is quite funny. His name is Daniel Jack Russell, which is sort of like, you know, Jack Daniels, like the alcohol. I thought it was quite funny. He is black, so I'm sorry if you're struggling to see him, but he's quite cute. He is smaller than all of the other animals that in the book. For example, this is the woodpecker I just showed you, and he's quite small. So yeah, definitely the smallest one in there, uses the least amount of yarn, but he's quite cute and quite easy to make as well. I would imagine the 3-star rating is because of the intricate shaping that's required. His nose sort of points up. It's really cute, but yeah, not too difficult. The next 3-star pattern is Gertrude Dragon. Now this one actually has the most number of pieces to sew together. There are 29 pieces to sew together, 21 of which are the spikes. Apart from that, the head and the tail and the body are worked separately, so you've got to stitch the tail to the body and the head to the body. You've also got these little horns, his ears, and the wings. Now this was only the 7th pattern I made, so his feet are very wonky. I think that's mainly my fault and not, you know, the fault of the pattern. I sort of just jumped in the deep end, and this was the 7th thing I ever crocheted, and it turned out really weird. But he's still cute. I think it just adds a little bit of character, but just keep in mind that when you're doing the legs, because it's worked from the body, if that makes sense, that you're just being a little bit mindful of where the bobble stitches go. If you're unsure if you're going to get it right, you can always just skip the bobbles and it will just be like flat feet, I guess. But quite cute, quite adorable. Just a lot of sewing involved, obviously, because of these little spikes. The next 3-star pattern is Hector the Rhinoceros. There are 8 pieces to sew together, the 2 horns, the 2 ears, that's 4, arms 5, 6, and the cheeks 7 and 8. So he's quite cute. His shirt is the most detailed shirt out of all of the patterns. There isn't too many close-up pictures of it, but you can sort of tell what you need to do. It's little palm trees, and I'm not sure if you can see the little pink there that's supposed to be like flowers. It's quite cute. His pants are removable, and he does have underwear as well, which I thought was such a cute little touch. Definitely a 3-star pattern because there's quite a bit of embroidery required on his shirt. But apart from that, quite simple, just intricate shaping, I guess, for the head. And he's got like a little horn head up here, bobbles on his hands, but quite adorable and quite cute. Easy apart from the embroidery, in my opinion. The next 3-star pattern is Marcia Alpaca. She has 5 pieces to sew together, which is actually the lowest number of pieces required in this book. So you've got the 2 ears, the snout, that's 3, the tail, that's 4, and this little blanket that you sew onto her body, that's number 5. She does have 2 different blanket patterns. This one's the curved one. She's also got a rectangular one, which you just do in rows. So depending on which option you want, you can change it up. This pom-pom little necklace is basically tied on to her neck, but if you did want to make it removable, I guess you could use elastic instead of yarn. Her pattern does say to use yarn, but you know, if you wanted to change it out or anything like that, you could just use elastic, and then potentially it can go over the head. But if you do exactly as the pattern says, nothing is removable for this one. It is quite cute, obviously complex because the head, the body is all worked in one piece, including the legs. So you've just got to, you know, I guess be okay with doing that. But apart from that, it's quite easy and it looks adorable as well. The last 3-star pattern in this book is Robin the Unicorn. There are 10 pieces to sew together. The head and the body are worked separately, so that's 1, the tail and mane, so 2, 3, the wings 4, 5, the ears 6, 7, the horn number 8, and her cheeks 9 and 10. Now the main thing with this one that you might find confusing is, again, like has to do with the pictures, similar to the puffin one. I'll try and bring a picture up for you now. So here is the picture from the book that I was talking about. I'm not sure if you can tell, but this particular one is worked in an oval shape, if that makes sense, if you can tell. So you know, you chain and then you sort of work around in ovals. That's what this particular one looks like, and that's, you know, the most prominent, I guess. Like you can see her stitching it on there. but the actual pattern is like this one. So you kind of work a tube, stuff it, and then stitch it on. So there's two different types of mains being used here. And if you look at her patterns, like that stitching one, for example, or sorry, if you look at her pictures, like that stitching one, you might just get a little bit confused when it comes to stitching it to the head, the main to the head. It is a little bit misleading because she is using, you know, like a different prototype or a different main or whatever, but just something to keep in mind that, you know, this is not the main that's in the pattern, it's this one, and it's just a little bit confusing. There is another one in here, another picture in here that sort of, you know, shows the same exact one, which I'll bring up here. So this one, like you can see, it's a flat piece that she stitches on. So if you're using pictures as a guide, it is a bit confusing because this main, oopsie, is actually worked in the round, and you sort of stuff it and just sew it on to the head. And the tail is similar, it's worked in the round, you just sort of, you know, curl it up and then stitch it onto the booty. But yes, just to keep that in mind that the picture isn't exactly what the pattern is, so you might get a little bit confused. But apart from that, it's quite cute. She's got little, you know, different colored hooves, a little like tattoo on her booty. You can like embroider whatever you want on here. I just copied what she had done in the pattern book, but it's quite cute and adorable. I hope you enjoyed that review and looking at my creations. Please remember that this was just my opinion only and my experience with working with these patterns. You might have a completely different experience, so if you're interested in any of these, definitely go check out that link in the description box down below. You will not regret purchasing this book. The characters are so incredibly adorable. Please let me know which ones were your favorite. If you've made any, I would love to know as well, so definitely pop that down in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video.